Hello, my name's Madeline. I'm a senior on the rowing team. I'm a captain and I row port.
Okay, hello. My name is Isa. I'm a fifth year on the rowing team. I'm a captain and I'm a coxswain.
Awesome. I'm Tallulah. I am a junior on the team, also a captain, and I also row port.
Getting into the fall season was so much fun this year. I know I'd been really looking forward to getting to my last year, and I feel like we just have so many beautiful memories of this fall rowing on the Mississippi. Do any memories, like top moments, come to mind for you guys?
I feel like the weather this year really stood out to me. You know, there were times where it was cold in the middle of October, and then at the end of November it was sunny and warm and amazing to be out on the water. And I think just getting up early in the morning and pushing meters with everyone was really wonderful.
Yeah, I think about this fall and like how big our freshman class was, and like that was also really fun, just getting to know a bunch of like new faces. And I think back to like the freshman 8 and like how they've just like all like dispersed since then, like all grown into their own people. But it was really fun to have that big of a group joining us, and they were like committed to the hard work from like the second they got here. It's like that was like my highlight of the fall.
Yeah, there was so much lore around the freshman 8 because every day they'd go off on their own training, and we'd be split into pairs or fours even, racing a lot in the fall, which was also really fun. Did we get any snow rows this fall?
I don't think so for once.
No snow rows.
Right?
No snow rows.
Well,
I don't think so.
But you bringing back the pairs makes me think of the pairs matrix.
the pairs matrix.
How crazy that was.
Yes. We used to
Week
go.
after week.
Yeah, we used to go from our dock on the Mississippi down to MRC, hop out of the boat, switch with someone else, turn around, row back up, and do it all again.
Race it, race it, race it.
Exactly.
And then when someone's like stroke coach wouldn't work week after week, and then results sheet was like DNR.
Yeah. It's hard. You have to manage a lot of different things doing that. Steering, stroke coach, getting the times, being on the right rate,
Yeah.
starting at the right spot.
I think that workout especially showed the rowers how tricky the coxswain role can be.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let's go.
We're grateful for you guys.
Yeah, I know.
go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know, seriously. Even when we were like in 8s or in 4s and doing the seat racing, like that stuff becomes tricky when like you're like putting in the information and you're like, oh shoot, we were actually over rate, and you're like typing it in with shame.
Oh no. Yeah, I feel like you could just tell right from those workouts early this fall that there was so much commitment, because switching around that much really asks a lot of you. But in each new seat you sat in, I remember being like, oh, well, I'm going to rip it now.
Yeah.
And now I'm in this boat and these girls are going to go with me.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of good energy around getting to prove yourself every workout.
Totally.
I feel like we also like stopped thinking about circumstances this fall. Like it didn't matter what boat you were getting switched into. It didn't matter if you were being seat raced for like the 3rd week in a row. It was like, I feel like no one thought about that ever. We were just like, all right, rip.
Yeah, I think everyone was happy to be there and willing to prove it, which was wonderful.
I think that led really well into our first race, head of the Mississippi, too. We didn't require anyone to row in pairs because it's pretty daunting to go upstream. And you could see the dedication from people on our team, like Katie and Steffi, who chose to row a pair upstream for 5K, which is no easy task.
After they did an 8s race.
Yeah, and
Chloe,
Chloe, they
yeah.
crushed that. I remember watching them go past and being so excited for them. They looked so good.
Like literally her 2nd year rowing, and she's rowing a pair upstream at the head of the Mississippi.
Yeah, it's a
Chloe
huge
killed it.
ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that didn't stop
Mm-mm.
all the way to Virginia.
Yeah. Like having really good results at Wisconsin first too was like such a catapult, like sending us into Virginia. I feel like I walked into Virginia really confident because of like how fun the Wisconsin scrimmages were. And they came to us. I forgot about them coming to us.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
We
had 2
hosted
rounds of
Wisconsin.
Yeah, and we crushed them both times. No, it was super fun, Wisconsin. I remember, was that like the first week in November or something, and it was a gorgeous day. It
Yes.
was beautiful out. And so we got to go out on their lake. And I know I just got my Garmin this past summer, so it's my first time recording all my workouts on Garmin. And turns out we got a little crown on their segment, which means that
Dominated.
we were crushing it on Wisconsin's water, which is always really fun.
Yeah. I think too it's like shout out to the Wisconsin team just because they're like such good sports too. Like they're really, really fun
100%.
people to compete with. And like I look forward to continue to compete with them in the spring because they're a fun school to compete against for sure.
And I feel like we have that shared experience of like the weather issues and the wind issues and, you know, trudging through winter season and making it and coming out better the other side.
Totally.
For sure.
And it'll be fun to see them in Florida.
And I think that they do a good job, too, of just, like, knowing that we're competitors, but at the end of the day, we're all laughing. Like, you know, like,
100%.
when we have, like, those relate moments, we, like, look across and you're like, that was not 4K after that race.
Yeah.
We were like, how much did you clock? She's like, 4,700. Like, okay, cool, me too.
Yeah, Virginia was gorgeous. Going down there in the fall was definitely going to be a lifelong memory of mine. Their river is so short. The stretch they row on, what was that? It was, like, barely 6K. It's like very skinny, very long, but gorgeous.
And a crazy course.
Yeah.
90-degree turn.
Under a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Isa for handling that.
Seriously, another way that our coxswains really kicked it this fall.
Yeah, that's a huge ask to be going like race pace under a bridge and making a huge turn. I know you were in a really hard position that race because it's head race style. So one boat goes every 10 seconds and we caught the boat in front of us under a bridge on a right-hand turn and they weren't yielding. What was that like for you?
There were a lot of prayers made at that moment. I shut my eyes. I yanked the rudder to the right and, you know, Jesus took the wheel. But no, it was a hard thing because we had to, like, actually stop during a race, which we had never done before. But I think that I had, like, a guttural sense that, like, if we were to let them take the inside of the turn, we would have never, like, posted the results we did. And I knew it was, like, bigger than, you know, the humbling act of stopping. And so I did have to ask my crew to let it run twice. I know you remember that.
Yeah.
It was, like, the first time because everybody's, like, in it when you're walking and you're moving ahead and you're, like, on this, like, trajectory to, like, catch them, and then it's like, okay, that showed, like, boat trust, that they were willing to listen to me. We had to come to a full stop to give us enough time to get to the inside, and then we kicked it and just went. And then the adrenaline, too.
Yeah, it's super surprising because obviously, you know, we're all listening to every call we make. We hear you yelling at the other boat to yield, so we know we're in this tight position, and you call, like, pause at the finish, and we're all, like, going race pace, so that's so surprising, and then it's like, oh, no, we have to.
Yeah.
So we, like, you know, bring it together, pause for a second, and then you're like, and go! We pick it back up again. It's like, we gotta take this inside lane.
I know, we felt so badass, too.
Yeah.
Every single person was like, yeah!
It's super exciting. And then from there, that was our last row of the fall, and we picked it back up in San Diego, which is always a beautiful trip. There's so much team bonding that happens there, and there's no school, no homework to do, so you just get to have fun and enjoy time with your teammates and enjoy time on the water.
Tallulah, I feel like you, like, explored, like, so many, like, different coffee shops
Oh
in
my
San
gosh.
Diego. You need to give us a debrief.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a little tradition to do an Eat San Diego food tour on our one day off while we're down there. And, you know, everything from acai bowls to burritos
The breakfast burritos.
Because when you're rowing for 4 hours a day, you gotta eat.
Yeah. Eat, row, sleep.
But seriously, getting to know the city and then also getting to know our team better, I think is one of the best ways or best parts about that whole trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And spending time on the water, seeing seals occasionally.
Yeah.
And then walking to the beach together, doing deloads and
Yes.
having post-practice talks.
Dips in the ocean.
Dips in the ocean,
I did not
sunset.
partake.
Seriously. But it's really a magical.
I think that this was one of the first trips, too, that we had 3 even eights. Like, time and time and time again. It was like 1 8 would win one part of practice, and then the next 8 would win the next part. And then out of nowhere, whatever 8 was behind, like, was, like, the fastest. And I was like, literally how? Like, it was so awesome.
I think that that's the thing that's most exciting about this season is that we're really unsure of who's where on the team, and every day people are coming in willing to fight for it and show where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And there's no clarity, which just makes things even more exciting.
And that's honestly carried over into the winter, because I know a different person has been at the top of the leaderboard every time.
Yeah.
And you guys have been leading it too. So how's that been feeling?
I think I'm I think finally I'm making friends with the erg a little more.
Yeah, me too. That's how I
You
also
know?
feel that maybe the erg isn't the enemy.
Exactly, coming to accept my fate, my friend,
Yeah.
over the winter. And I think that just going into the workout knowing that this is how I can train right now and this is how I can get better. And as much as I wish that we were in San Diego all winter, we're not. So just finding that burn on the erg and pushing it every day. And I think that that's something that our whole group has been doing a really wonderful job at, is just continually showing up and just pushing it, no matter what's happening on the outside, no matter if your legs are hurting, you know, like
No matter what happened
no,
yesterday.
exactly. No excuses, just showing up and showing the erg what you can do.
And the craziest part of this winter has been something that I don't know has ever if it's ever happened before, but getting out on the water in February, last day of January too, right?
Yeah, we went on January 31st.
Yeah, so
and then February 1st.
It's a little bit tricky because our boats are in San Diego because we're going back to California for spring break, so we're using some of our older boats, but there's no complaints. Everyone is just so excited to get out of the erg room and on the water again. And it's been like such a breath of fresh air. Oh, literally.
Great way to boost morale.
And I think that like the few days in the water, the few rows too, have just been like making the erg days even better. Like people are showing up with like a different amount of dedication on the erg days. Like I know from the coxswain standpoint, like I've had like the amount of joy I've had putting in people's times and seeing that like people are going faster than they ever have. Different people are always at the top. Like people's good days are like just so incredible. It's been so exciting, and like looking into this spring, it's so promising when you've never seen times like that.
It's so easy to celebrate one another and just watch the people next to you absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, and it's easiest to push when the people around you are pushing with you, and it's a really exciting part of this winter, I think.
I think that one moment that comes into my brain was not this last time we did the 10x3, but the time before, you and Meg.
Oh, 10 by 3 minutes.
10 by 3 minutes with a 30 seconds rest. You guys.
And you had to negative split it.
Yeah.
Or else you were kicked off.
And you're ranked too. So it's like the person that's next to you is like chasing you down, but you also like need them. Like there's codependence there. Like they need to step with you. You need to go with them. You need someone to suffer with. But it's like, okay, don't suffer too much because you know you're trying to stay ahead.
Collective suffering is so real.
Yeah. I know this past time we did 10 by 3 minutes, I was between Cece and Josephine, and I'd be like, okay, step with Cece. Okay, now step with Josephine. I'm like, never doing it by myself. Let me just pick one person and just go with them, because that is the only way to get it done.
Yeah, I was just talking to Jaden, a novice on the team, and she said that there's a big difference to her for doing it for the team versus doing it with the team. And I think both of those things are super important, but figuring out how to do it with is so helpful. Because you realize that everyone else around you is hurting, but that you're doing it together.
And can we take a second to talk about the novice class?
Yes.
The novices
They're
working so hard.
Yeah, from the second they got here, all I've been hearing is good things. And now getting to see it, that we have practiced together and in San Diego, it is like astounding
to have
how talented they are.
People that have been rowing for 6 months pushing people that have been rowing for years is so incredible. And like, the vibes in the erg room with the novices have been electric. And shout out Alicia for dealing with that many people, too.
Yeah, true.
All the coaches, really. But
60 athlete
60 athlete practices
in
are
one
crazy.
room.
Yeah.
And, like, all, like, the matrices of how we're, like, switching through things has been, like, honestly pretty seamless.
Yeah, and people are just paying attention, and they're ready to get things done, and that is just showing up.
Yeah, willing to work. I love it.
Yeah.
What are you guys looking forward to this for racing season?
I'm just so excited to race. Like, doing all of these hard workouts, and Alicia was talking about this a little bit yesterday, our coach, getting so familiar with the pain cave and what your mindset is going to be in those moments when it hurts so bad, your whole body wants to give up. I feel like I am really getting to know that side of myself, and I'm really excited to apply it on the race course when I'm, dead even with another boat, knowing that I can take it to the next level with my teammates.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, we're building those habits every day.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm so excited for them to pay off. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen, like, everyone in the erg room push themselves further than I've ever seen in the past. And, like, I think it's, like, the new gear, right? It's like, okay, I'm dead right now, but I'm, like, gonna use some part of my body to like leverage against this oar handle to see the split go down. And even like Mono the other day doing her 6K, she like literally spat up on herself like with like 3K to go, and her face was like pure white. There was no oxygen in her blood. And she found her way through 3K, like, and like if we can get like that like on the race course, like we're gonna have a good year.
Yeah, we are gonna have a good year.
Totally. Yeah. I'm so excited to push it with our upperclassmen for the last little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Not to get sentimental, but both of you guys last year, I think it'll be a good one to go out on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful I came back for a 5th year.
Me too.
Yeah, we're lucky to have you. I'm sentimental as well with my last couple months here. It's such a special community that has given me so much, and it's skills I'll carry with me for the rest of my life, and people I'll have with me for the rest of my life. I feel so fortunate.
And I think that like knowing that it's like both of us are coming up on the end too makes it like that much more exciting to like give every single ounce of me to every single race. Like whether it's like 5 or 6 races of Less Fair career, it's like I'm so excited to just go and leave you guys off with like one hell of a program next year.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna kill it.
And I know that you guys are like truly pushing us and inspiring us to do the same every day. We're gonna miss you, but we'll also row so hard for you, and we're gonna make this last season count.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Madeline, do you have any plans for after college?
Yeah, I'm gonna learn how to scull, obviously. After 4 years of sweeping, rowing, I'm gonna learn how to scull so I can stick with the sport, recreationally for fun. Other than that, I have an internship with the DNR. I will find a real job after that. What about you, Issa? Going on to med school?
Yeah. We'll see where I land. But yeah, going to med school, and then hopefully I won't chronically have lost my voice and I'll be able to speak normal again.
I know. It's so funny seeing in San Diego before every practice, half the teams up there bandaging their blisters from... I mean, there were some bad blisters this year.
Anna Stephenson.
Yeah. Annie Moen.
Oh, yeah.
And then the coxswains are up there getting cough drops, like croaking.
Yeah. Literally 2 hard days in a row.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any people you guys want to shout out that you really just been noticing lately?
Yeah, I'll shout out Nula. She's been super helpful. We are split up into 2 sections, and she's been covering the music for our second practice time, which is just so appreciated to have someone who can set those vibes right. A good music makes a long erg that much easier. So I've really appreciated her doing that. Also, Meg and Tallulah also cover the music and have great vibes going in the erg room. So I just really look forward to that during my class times. I'm like, well, later I'll just go get sweaty with some of my favorite songs, some of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Finish the day off on a good note.
Yeah, at the end of the Monday, knowing you're looking forward to 20K with your friends is, it's important.
I think I think our underclassmen as a whole are doing a really great job of learning every day and showing that they want to improve and making changes. And just coming to practice better and better each day. And I think that mentality of honestly working to better yourself and your team every day is something that like our freshmen and sophomores on both the novice and the varsity side are doing a really great job at. So I think that deserves a big shout out.
When you were describing that, I just thought of like the Grace Loesch or Chloe Krepnitzer dynamic of like them pushing each other.
The chain.
Yeah, the chain. Okay. Does anyone want to explain the chain? I think we have to tell them about the chain.
Yeah, so a couple of our teammates,
Mono, Grace, and Chloe.
Yeah, Mono, Grace, and Chloe made a chain
of paper.
Of paper, counting down the days until we're in our spring break training trip with a guiding word for the day that has to do with our team values, and then a question or like a leading, I don't know, thing, a leading
definition
phrase to guide us through practice that day. And it's been really wonderful to see everyone buy into that and have a little new bit of inspiration every day to keep us going.
I think it's also just like, even though it's like we like all like giggle about like all together, like when we're like opening it up, it's like, wow, like, okay, getting a day to, like, focus on tenacity. It's like, I do, like, think about that throughout the day. Like, I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of reframes.
Yeah.
And so even though it's this colorful chain that's made of paper, it's, like, kind of just really reinforcing our team values, which is awesome.
Yeah. Even the other day when we were doing the 10 by 3 minutes, it was, what are you going to tell yourself when things get hard? And I thought about that during our warm-up run, and, you know, I've got my phrases. The easiest way is through, as many people have heard, because you got to know when you get into those hard moments, you can't come up with what your response plan there. You have to come up with it ahead of time.
Right.
So I feel like prompting us to come up with those things before we get into the hard work is just taking us, again, to the next level.
Yeah, and same with our practicing. Like, practicing those moments on the erg is just going to make us that much stronger on the water.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe we're going to find ourselves in a position that we haven't found ourselves in years past this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we are preparing for success, and we're going to get there, and we're going to kick it.
Let's go.
So excited.
Logos
So
on
good.
3.
Should we break it out? Madeline, do it.
Logos on 3. 1,